Hi, this week on Reaper Live, we have a special guest.
Honey Boo Boo.
Oh, no.
Bobby Jackson.
Bobby Jackson. Hall of Fame sculptor Bobby Jackson.
And gold medal painter.
Yep. Say hi, Bobby.
Wave this for you.
Hi, Bobby. Hey, what is this on the table in front of us?
Is this?
It's a circus peanut. Hi, I'm Ron Hawkins, art director here at Reaper.
Ed Pugh, president here at Reaper.
And we're here with
Bobby Jackson, guest at Reaper.
All right. We're also here with Michael Collins, our producer, technical director, Justin Elliott. Welcome to Reaper Live, the show where we blend painting, gaming, and geek culture all together for your viewing pleasure. Bobby, thanks for coming up to the Reaper Live studios.
My pleasure.
You seem very excited.
Yes.
Yeah, real. All right. Well, what we're going to do, we're going to paint. Here, we're going to talk about stuff. We're going to talk about your long history with geek culture and miniatures and gaming and stuff like that, and do some other silly things. But before we do that, we're going to talk about what we're going to paint today. So tell us about what you're painting today.
This dwarf.
All right. This happens to be the November Dungeon Dweller dwarf, which you can get with any $40 order from Reaper.
Sculpted by
me.
Did you know that it was free with a $40 order?
With $40 order, that's correct.
Thanks for
You get
that.
2 for $80.
There you go.
And it comes with 3 weapon options.
Ooh,
yeah,
fancy. More bang for your buck. All right, Ed, what are you painting?
I'm painting a cleric
by Bobby Jackson.
Technically, it's a wizard.
He's a young adventuring wizard. It's okay. That's all right. Guess what I'm going to paint?
You sure it's not a vampire? Because it looks like a banshee to me.
Be a vampire. I know. Guess what?
Everybody knows more about what I paint. Yes, go.
Just crap out of the way. Painting an ogre.
The same ogre.
Don't worry about it. So, all right. So I'm going to take my ogre. Take your figures.
My cleric. Oh, my Hammy's a wizard.
Young wizard.
The young wizard. Young wizard.
Don't break him. Okay.
Well, thank you for coming here, Bobby.
No,
and one of the
pleasure.
things that we always do is we want to know, and everybody watching wants to know, how did you get into this whole culture, the whole hobby? What brought you in? What did you do?
I've been doing it so long I don't recall. But I can tell you, when I was a kid, about 6th grade, or however old you are when you're a 6th grader, I went to Bobby's Hobbies.
Which is still open?
Yep.
Bobby's Hobbies. Thanks for coming to ReaperCon and supporting
Thanks,
ReaperCon.
Mike. Sorry about your dad.
Yep.
Went to Bobby's Hobbies with my grandmother and saw some of the old Raoul Partha miniatures. And it was back before they even had them in blisters. They were in an old jewelry case. As you push the button,
and they rotated around.
And they were numbered, and you'd have to go tell the clerk, I want number whatever. And so I'd never seen anything like that before. And so my grandmother, who spoiled me, bought some, and I caught the disease, and I've had it ever since.
Now, did you paint at the time? That was all you were focused on?
With testers, enamels, and I asked them, what do people use these things for? And they said they play Dungeons and Dragons with them. I didn't know what that was, so I found the game, the Swords and Spells booklet. This was the 5
wow.
Yeah. So that was the first little booklet I bought, and it couldn't make any heads or tails out of it because I didn't have the rest of the rules. And eventually I collected the Dungeons and Dragons rules and played RPGs for a while, and that led me to the old Avalon Hill bookcase games and the SPI flat pack games with the little cardboard chits and just ran the whole spectrum of the hobby.
So we're down this equation in this whole. What prompted you to start sculpting?
Well, I was doing conversions for friends. We were playing miniatures games, historical stuff, the Sword and the Flame, and playing some of the old Warhammer 40K back in the old days. And I was doing conversions for friends of mine, and they were getting more and more elaborate. Where they started off, swapping weapons, swapping heads. And they would just get more drapery and more. Just the conversions got so elaborate that somebody said, you should just start from scratch.
What did you use when you originally were doing these conversions? Were you using green stuff?
Milliput. I've never heard of green stuff. I was using Milliput. And that's about it.
That's how you
That's it.
That works.
That's how I got into it.
And the next thing you know, Reaper just said, "Hey."
So Ron,
how did I start doing it professionally?
No, that comes. How did you? Do you remember your first time encountering Bobby?
Yeah. It was at Gen Con, and okay, this is kind of a funny story. So Ed said,
never is.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Ed said, yeah, you need to contact that kid Bobby Jackson. Contact that kid Bobby Jackson. I'm going, oh, okay, so I'm looking for a young kid, someone younger than me. And so this bearded bald dude shows up and he's like, I'm Bobby Jackson. I was like, you're no kid.
It might have been so long ago I had hair.
Yeah.
I'm wrong. Hair. You did not have a beard at the time.
No. Clean shaven, but I had hair on top.
It was like we said in Casket Works, it was a potato with glasses. And so you and I met at
I'd forgotten about
Gen
that.
Con, and we went down to the Hyatt and sat at the bar, and we sat out there all night and talked, and sort of you told funny stories about when you were in the service and things like that. And we talked about miniatures and gaming and
that upstairs bar.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
We had a lot of fun. It was a good, and then from there we just sort of went on. And the first figure you sculpted for us, we said, Bobby, we want this cool executioner guy. Guy's just gonna he's just gonna tear you up. Some mean, massive executioner. And just when you get the green done, send it to us. We're gonna put it in production. Bobby's like, I got it. I can do this. I'm gonna rock this. And we got in this little guy, this little stunted runt dwarf guy with the big eggs.
He was in the video last week.
Oh, yeah, he was in the video last week. Bobby, do you recall this?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I recall being mocked for it back then.
What have you got to say for yourself 15, 20 years later?
I have nothing to be ashamed of.
Okay, well, yeah, really. So he wasn't exactly a massive guy, but we didn't hold that against Bobby.
Well, I blame Ed.
Okay, good.
Because Ed said, when I met Ed at Gen Con, he said,
Hey, kid.
Hey, kid. That stuff's pretty
Took
good.
a cigar out of his mouth and said,
No, it wasn't
Hey,
Gen
kid.
Con, it was Origins where we met.
Oh, was it?
Yes, it was. Actually, I'll tell my version. All it is Jack Van Shake comes up to me. He's the president of Rafa, and he says,
Check out this kid, Bobby
there's this
Jackson."
kid on the floor that's going to come and show you his
With
stuff.
a head full of hair.
With a head full of hair. And his wife's there, too, wondering what the hell's going on. And
Well, Julie was there?
No.
Are you sure? I'm almost positive there were two. Oh, never mind. Oh, sorry.
Who was the blonde with
Thank
you?
God we got
Don't
somebody
worry
else.
about
My
it.
mother is going to be watching this video. Stop that.
So anyway, he said he's going to show you a figure, and when he does, I want you to keep in mind this is the first and second figure he'd ever sculpted from complete scratch. So and he says, I'm not going to tell you anymore. And so I guess you'd already talked to Jack. He rolls over.
No, Jack
to
said
the
it like this. This is going to be the first and second figure that he's ever...
Jack's going to be watching this too.
Sorry, Jack. I love you, Jack.
Yeah, right. So anyway,
there goes that relationship.
This kid shows up with hair and his wife. Oh no, shit, I blew it again. You got a lot of editing. So anyway, he shows up and he shows me these two models, and they're really GW centric in their styling, but they are just incredible. And so I asked, how many figures have you sculpted? I'm just going to test the water. He goes, no, this is my first one. And he gave me the story, and I remember this big flowing cape and all this kind of stuff. And then he showed me the second one, and I was like, wow. And we talked a lot about the industry and of what to do, how to get into it. You were asking, what does it pay? Or just all these questions. And you and I sat down.
Despite that, you still got into the industry.
Yeah, I know. And so anyway, that's how we met in that sense. So now that I've got my little defense out there, you can go ahead and tell how the blame it on him.
That's just how I met Bobby, but you met him.
Well, see, you were at the Gen Con later, and when Bobby's going to be there, and that's why after seeing him at Origins, that's why I'm on Ron's.
Talk to that kid, Bobby Jackson.
Yeah, talk to this kid.
Yeah, so the way I remember it is...
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. So the way I remember it is, I had three little milliput figures, and I was just walking around to you and to Jack and to whoever would look at them and say,
Please, sir, please look at me.
This is what I can do.
Yeah.
And what was this? 95?
Yeah, somewhere in that area.
Yeah, like 1995. 95, 96.
I think they had just invented wire or something.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I had a full head of hair, and
I don't know about that.
Well, it wasn't as sparse as it is today. So I do remember you saying, well, something along the lines of, this is reasonable work, but you should probably go talk to Raul Partha.
Actually, right. Well, no, that was a different discussion. Is at the time our resources didn't allow us to, for all intents and purposes, train a sculptor.
Train sculptors, yeah.
And as far as this is how that works. This is what you have to do. All of these basic concepts.
Yeah, I didn't even know what green stuff was.
Right, and so that's what I remember saying that, and I can't think of his name now. Who was the art director? Chuck
Crane.
Chuck Crane, yeah.
Yeah, and I said you really need to go to go see Chuck Crane and get with Raul Partha, and they're going to teach you everything you need to know, and then you can rule the world. And I told somebody that later. I guess it was Al, maybe it was Jack. I said, yeah, I told him to go talk to Chuck, and everybody's like, did you make you mad? Or why are you sending him to go talk to Chuck? Well, okay. So anyway, but that was, and that got you set down the path. But at the time, you were already into art because if y'all have ever seen these maps where you're a tourist and you're going to some town and you open it up, it's got these really goofy map that shows you where all of this stuff. He draws these. That's
used to.
I
used to. Yeah.
I hadn't done it in a while, but I used to do that.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Goofy. Yeah. Then you sent me over to the tender loving care of Chuck.
Chuck, yes.
Yeah.
And give us your Chuck impression.
This one almost doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Chuck's watching. No, he's not.
Yes, sorry. Well, he may be.
Well,
yeah, that's true. Yeah. If they have a screen up there, I'm down there. I don't know. I didn't really know Chuck.
Rest in peace, Chuck.
I'd say something vulgar.
Okay.
My mother will be watching.
Yeah, your mother's watching, so don't do that. So that was the first figure you sculpted for Reaper was the Logar.
The tiny.
You sculpted for other companies, several other companies.
That's why it's Ed's fault, because he had sent me over there to get trained by Chuck, who insisted on tiny little 28.
Every figure was bottom of feet, heel to eyes.
Posed like this.
Yes.
It had to be in the
or the power
pose.
fist.
Yes.
Or the power fist, yeah.
You were slight variations, arm up or down, but pretty much
for production.
Like a scarecrow. Yeah, make it flat, make it small.
One piece.
Yeah, and so that's what I knew how to do.
That's what you did, and you did it very well.
Do this awesome killer, and so he's holding the axe like this, but it's very flat.
Yeah,
but yes, no, that was a good time.
So besides Reaper,
after that, one of the first times I remember seeing you doing a lot of work for was Deep. What was it?
Well, so I was going to ask you, what other companies have you sculpted for besides Reaper and Raupartha?
Oh. All of the old companies. What? What's that?
Go ahead.
All the old companies. Grenadier.
Oh, you did stuff for Grenadier?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did they ever put it out?
Yeah.
Did you get paid?
Usually. It was there in their death throes, so it was an awkward time. They were...
That was after Bob had already left.
Yeah, but that's also not a public story, so we'll just leave that one alone.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, thanks for making it really more
painfully
awkward than it
obvious,
should be.
Awkward, yes.
Yeah.
I don't think Andy's watching.
He may be.
Okay.
There's a lot of people watching this, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
we do get one thumbs down every week. It's probably Andy.
Probably Andy. Yeah. Oh, but any of the old companies, I've done. Who else is there?
Do you remember?
Well, did you do stuff? You did stuff for the guy. Was it Global Games up in Canada?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Demon Blade. I did.
And then who was the guy you did the big stuff for? Was on the East Coast, coming out of Grenadier. I thought that was called Demon Blade Miniatures.
I did stuff for Demon Blade Games. I did a bunch of that stuff.
That was all his.
Did you do anything for Target at all?
I don't remember.
Did you do any of Bob's stuff up there? I can't think of the name of it now. Not Marauder, but Heartbreaker.
I don't remember. It's been so long. I don't remember.
Okay.
It's
Miniatures Roulette with Bobby Jackson.
Yeah. Golly, I've been doing this since 1995. I've done a lot of figures. You've worked for
Privateer Press. You've done stuff for
Privateer Press.
You've done a lot of stuff. But your favorite company
is Reaper.
Of course.
That's why I'm here.
I'm glad you said that. Well, no. That's why you're here.
It's so easy to remember. Oh, yeah, I've worked for Reaper. All those rest of those people, they fade.
Yeah.
Am I...
So, hey, all right. So let's put your dwarf up on the thing. Let's see.
Show them where you are.
Am I supposed to have made progress?
Yeah, you were supposed to have been painting this entire time instead of yakking your jaws over there.
But very stressful.
That's fine. I know.
Reliving the past.
Yeah.
I'm trying to forget it all.
Yeah, trying not to look uncomfortable.
Hey, real quick, we just want to give a shout out to our good friend Jason Wiebe, who is under the weather, not feeling great. So, Jason, we hope you're watching this, and if you are watching this,
and keep sending those pictures.
Yeah, if you
can I take him back now?
Yes.
Yeah. What are you? Brown
on his beard.
Good. Okay. Good choice.
That's where Michael ran in and said, "Stop."
Anyway, get well, Jason. We'll see you soon.
You take care. We'll see you.
Yeah, we'll get you down here for an episode of Reaper Live at some point.
And I'll go ahead, Ron. I'll just jump right in here.
I'm doing
the little wizard / cleric.
Okay.
I went ahead and bumped up his color theme when now that he's a wizard.
Now he's a wizard. He can have color. He's a cleric. He had to be dull.
He's going to obviously do a sepia tone, all browns. So,
Bob, you got any advice for people who want to get into sculpting or get into the miniatures hobby?
Learn ZBrush.
So all the stuff that you do these days is now digital, and so you obviously went to the ZBrush school where they taught you everything how to use ZBrush, and you took all these classes and ZBrush
thousands of dollars.
Yeah, that's how you got into ZBrush, right?
No, I just kind of made it up as I went along.
Oh, really? Okay. So you're self-taught.
Well, I mean,
besides online YouTube videos,
I didn't do anything formal, but it's very easy to learn ZBrush. The resources, I mean.
It still takes time.
It's very easy to access resources by which you can learn ZBrush.
With that thing called
the internet. Yeah, there are more ZBrush training resources out there, and so if you're interested and you've got aptitude and you're willing to put the work in, it's not that.
If somebody's starting out now and wants to learn ZBrush, how many total hours would it take? How many hours a day or a week do you think, if they wanted to be serious and sculpt beyond just for themselves?
Do it every day for a year.
There we go. Every day for a year.
A few hours a day?
Yeah, as long as you can for every day.
As much as you can, yeah. Just practice.
That's right.
It's just do it.
That's right.
Now, your equipment is, you don't run on a PC, right?
Yes, I do.
You do you? Okay. What's your...
It's not that fancy a PC. I've got... an i7 processor with 16 gigs of RAM and a terabyte drive. Not a fancy graphics card because ZBrush runs on the main processor. So, go to Best Buy and spend $1,000 and you'll have a machine that'll run it fine.
Now, do you use, though? I see y'all use the Wacom.
Oh, now that's where your money's going to come. Okay. Is I do have a big 27-inch Cintiq that I do all my.
Now, did you have 27 inches just because you can't see?
That's correct. Okay. I'm blind.
Okay. Well, that explains them.
Thanks, Chuck.
Yeah. Yeah, really.
Okay. So normally, Bobby, I mean, unfortunately, this year at ReaperCon, you weren't able to make it.
No, alas.
I know, but normally you teach a Bones mashup class.
Oh, I do.
Yes,
Gene Van Horn and I usually tag team.
And Jason Wiebe.
Sometimes Jason.
Yeah, if he's not sleeping.
Yes, or hungover.
And so, kind of go through real quick with us the basics of the Bones mashup class. What does it entail? What does it involve, and how does that relate to how people at home can take their miniatures and do things with them?
Okay. The facetious answer is
that's what we want to hear.
I essentially dump a big tub of bones out on the table and then look at Facebook.
Okay. Now, let's hear the fake answer.
Okay. The fake answer is...
I thought that was the real one.
Okay, well...
That is the real one.
That is the real one. But it's the best class at ReaperCon, and that's not being facetious.
No, it is. It's a lot of fun, even just to watch.
Yes, it is fantastic because... You get access to all these bones. You can chop them up, build anything you want, and then you get to keep it. And my experience is the same people keep coming back over and over, and the class just gets bigger and bigger because new people find out about it. And it is the most fun class. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings who's teaching classes, but it is the most fun class at ReaperCon.
What makes the bones so good for converting for these classes?
Oh, they're just so easy. You just
you can just snip whatever you want, and then using super glue is like welding them together.
Yeah.
So you want this sword? There you go.
That's right. I won I won some award at ReaperCon one year with a halfling that I'd made out of discarded parts.
Was that your gold medal?
That was the gold. No, that was the gold medal for the sculptor of the show. Yeah.
I did win. I can't recall what it was. It was the little Halloween thing, and I had to include blood, so I made the pumpkin have blood.
Oh, you did that for the artist conference.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the artist conference. Okay, I remember that.
I won some cool award sitting on my little shelf at home.
But the piece you won, the gold medal you won at ReaperCon was for?
My little smoking halfling.
Yes.
But that's a real piece. This was the one that I won this other thing for was all converted bones parts.
Converted bones parts.
Yeah, it was fun. That I, instead of looking at Facebook, I was
actually converting,
participating in the class.
Yeah, so the bones are easy for those kinds of things. So
they're super easy. They're super easy, and the cool thing about the class is there's thousands. Oops.
Yeah, you can just you literally dump a bucket,
a giant tub. I mean, you've got 6 cubic feet of bones dumped out on the table, and people just sift through them and chop them up.
And you obviously have to take some sort of specialized glue to...
No,
just the super glue.
Super glue and an X-Acto knife is all you need. It's super easy and super fun.
He was listening to
Yeah, I'm playing along with you.
I
You
know,
don't
I
have to
appreciate
gloat.
it. Ed keeps going, oh, no, super glue. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm setting you guys up for the easy answers.
Okay,
So
good.
Make it already answered.
Make it as easy as you can.
Just trying to reiterate.
I think we made super glue or something.
I know, wouldn't that be a great idea? So going back to digital sculpting, Bobby, what are some of the differences, some of the challenges between going from being an analog, green stuff sculptor and transitioning to an all digital sculptor?
Was
what are
it
some of the
easy,
differences?
or did the analog part help you be a better digital sculptor, or did it not matter?
Yes, it's. I mean, if you can sculpt traditionally, you can sculpt digitally because sculpting is sculpting. And the thing that I've learned, let me just set this down so I can think. The thing that I've learned is
a different set of glasses.
these are my thinking glasses.
Okay, I see. I'll put mine on too. Go ahead.
Yeah.
We have seeing.
How
How about that? I've forgotten what I've learned now. No, the thing that I've learned is if you can sculpt traditionally, you can sculpt digitally. It's just another medium. It's like when I learned how to sculpt in green stuff, it's like sculpting in bubble gum, and it took there's a learning curve. You have to learn how to master the medium, and digital sculpting is exactly the same thing.
Right.
But with this caveat, you can construct objects digitally, using the traditional 3D modeling methods, box modeling or spline modeling, this sort of thing. But that's not like sculpting. With ZBrush, particularly with Dynamesh, and now with this new Sculptris Pro mode that they've implemented in this latest release, it's like magic clay. It really is sculpting. You can put a blob of material out there, adjust the volume, and sculpt as you would.
Really?
Yes.
So pulling and pushing,
and carving and polishing. It is digital sculpting. So if you put as much time into learning the digital medium as you would into learning green stuff, you'll be as successful digitally as you would be with green stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's a little bit. Yeah, sure. So are there things that are easier to sculpt
You'll be tested.
analog than there are digitally, and vice versa? Things to sculpt easier to sculpt in digital than there were in green stuff?
Digital,
for example,
there's several advantages to digital. One of them is you can blow the figure up really large so that people who can't see because they're getting old can continue to work. Mm-hmm. But that's also a disadvantage because when you're sculpting 1-to-1 scale,
this is the big pitfall.
The big pitfall of digital is what you see on a large monitor is not what you see when it's shrunk down to gaming scale.
Right.
And learning how to caricature the figure so that when it's when it's printed, it looks like a miniature and not like a model railroad figure or something undesirable.
And we've seen that goes all the way. We had that same problem with Cav years ago. It's hard to conceptualize because I need to get in there and do this grill or this vent or this rivet pattern, and so you blow it up and you're able to just turn around and make that good, but you're making the rivets too small. In your screen they're 4 inches, and then of course when you print it out you're going, well, there's supposed to be rivets there. And they're not. They're just disappeared.
Yes. Well, you and I had this discussion last week on reaperlive.
Yeah, that's on
scale and proportion and things like that.
Yeah.
And just to touch on that real quick, going back to last week's discussion, we talked about scale and proportions. We were saying that a real life human is about 7 heads high. 8 heads. Okay, we said 7 in the episode, but we're not professionals. 8 heads high. But when you sculpt your figures, how many heads do you normally sculpt a human figure at?
6,
for reaper?
5, 6.
5 or 6, really? That 5 sometimes, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 3.
But that's what you said when you were working 1-to-1 on the screen.
Yeah, you can't see it. It is. I really struggled with making that transition until I was able to sculpt a figure, print it, and get the print in my hand and compare to what I was seeing on the screen. And it took about 30 figures.
Do you still find yourself doing that? Do you still?
Yeah, that's the biggest struggle is to get the proportions. It's like drawing a caricature. You have to learn how to exaggerate the characteristics that you want the eye drawn to, and de-emphasize the ones that you don't want the eye drawn to. And it's the same sort of skill, learning how to caricature a figure so that it's going to look like a miniature when you print it.
And that was one of the other things we talked about, is just because it's a good piece of digital art, doesn't mean it's going to make a good
and even
miniature.
Well, it's subjective, but
Art.
right. Yeah.
What it
And
is.
miniatures. I mean, there are people who like all different types. But I'm an old school. I'm an old school toy soldier guy. I like the old 6-head high, big head,
stocky,
hairy twins.
Yeah.
That's what I like. And the game I play when I sculpt digitally is I try to, when you print the figure, when you pick it up in a pewter or resin copy of a digital figure I've done, at first glance, I don't want you to know that it's digital. I want you to think, oh, this might be a traditional medium. Just because that's how miniatures ought to look in my imagination, in my perfect world. And so, if that's a digital figure, but you could, if you were to lie to someone and say, hey, though that was sculpted in green stuff, you could probably make them believe it.
Oh, easily.
And you've made it a point to really make your art, your figures look like that.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes some are better than others. It's not because it's not easy. But I'm trying to make my digital sculpts look like they could have been sculpted.
That could easily pass as a very traditional analog sculpture. A lot of it is like the hair. There's certain things that become, he did that in digital, and you're getting past that. You're looking at it's now a seamless blend.
And the trick, the trick is sculpting it. When you
there's no magic button where you hit the hair button.
No.
Sculpt this.
Sometimes there are magic buttons that you can hit, but when you hit a magic button, it looks like you hit a magic button.
It looks digital.
It looks digital. So if you want to make it look sculpted, then you just sculpt it.
Here's a really great example of digital sculpting by Bobby. Now, Bobby, you filmed this back in the spring when you were working on the August Dungeon Dweller, Lou and Faust. So when you were working on the mini, what were your inspirations for the piece?
Dungeon dwellery, classic wizardy tropes: pointy hat, long staff, robe,
Big beard. Yeah, gotta have that.
Yes,
gotta have that. Okay, so what you did basically, what we're gonna watch here is basically a time-lapse video from the beginning of the sculpt all the way to the end. Yeah?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so
how long did it take you in real life? I mean, how long was the whole sculpt part?
I don't recall.
Okay.
Days.
Okay.
Several hours.
Okay. And then this is how long?
7 minutes.
7 minutes.
So we're going to condense this down to 7 minutes. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Push play.
Okay. So what's going on right here?
I've got popcorn.
That is just a
watch the video.
little base mesh.
Yeah, let's pull out our popcorn.
Okay. Where's my popcorn?
Okay. While we're watching the TV. So now the little armature you've got there, you make that every time, or is that
that's just a little stock
or
stick
it's a
man,
stock
just like an
stick man.
armature.
That is a stock
What's
stick
the
man.
thing down between his legs? Looks like an upside down pot.
That is probably going to be his skirt. I turned it into a book. How about that? Now I'm building a pouch. You see?
Do you know what you're doing?
I did when I did it. And now I'm making a little bedroll. And you see now I'm doing a little shoe. Yeah.
The technical explanations are just blowing
Yeah,
away.
look at that. There's a shoe.
What in the world is that? Oh my Lord.
That's his dagger.
Okay.
Golly, what is wrong with you? But if you look at what I'm doing the same thing digitally that I would traditionally. I work from the general to the specific. I'm just building the basic volumes there, where I know he's going to have a skirt, so I give him kind of a basic cone-shaped blob hanging from his waist. Now this is his staff. I'm getting a little more detailed on the staff.
But you've already played with a bunch of different shapes. That's you deciding.
Yeah, what I really
like this.
What I want to look
rigid. Now I'm curvy.
That's one of the nice things about doing it digitally. If I don't have a design handed to me, I can sketch around in 3D a little bit until I find a design I like.
Okay.
Now, why this
is
color?
Is that part of his intestines?
No, that's.
So, Bobby, why this brown color?
I just like it.
Okay.
It can be any color you want. I just happen to like it.
Easier to see the details.
It's just
like that.
It's just the default material.
Gotcha.
Brown wax, red wax, and I just like it. So
you're just literally just making a piece, put it on.
Yeah, it's just like you would do it if you were doing it in Fimo.
Was that figurine the man there I saw? Is that for how to scale it?
Yeah, it's
so
just
that's
a
how
scale
you knew
reference.
to get it to this final product size. That's what you're able to do.
Yes. Now I'm starting to pose him. You see, well, this is kind of one of the differences between digital and traditional is, other than being able to sketch a little bit, is
freedom to be able to.
Yeah. So I would pose his armature before I added the volume. Here, since I want to exploit the ability to do cross-axis symmetry, to make the sleeves the same basic form, then I won't pose him until I've got the basic forms blocked out. But now I'm working on his little cloak.
I'm noticing that the repetitive diagonals contribute to the overall symmetry of the piece. Is that?
Yes, thanks, Drew.
Well, you're going to get one for that one, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's all I know about.
That's all you need to know. Art. You could have a master's degree in fine art with that. Yeah.
Now, does Ron ever give you like a max limit of bags and books?
No. He.
There is a minimum. There's no maximum.
Yeah, there's no maximum. I mean, look at Oswald.
Harvey Oswald?
No, isn't that the name of the little overburdened henchman?
Oh.
Golly, you don't even know your own product line. Okay, now look here.
He's making rude gestures with his hand.
Yeah.
I'm about to get. It looks like a Proctor. I'm about to get to the point where he's bulked out, and for some reason I went ahead and detailed his little hands.
Now, why do I see like just the bodies show up and then all of a sudden he's got his? Is this you taking it apart?
Yeah, I'm hiding parts that I don't want to work on.
Oh.
There.
And
so
voila.
now voila, there's the little. That's him about halfway done. I've got all of the volumes in place, all of the main shapes, so I know what's going to go where. Now I start actually sculpting.
The detailing part.
Yeah, it is. I would do the same process if I were doing it in Fimo. You'd have a little posed armature with a blocked out, all the volumes of the figure blocked out. Then I'd go in and cut and slice and
Now,
polish.
why did it change there translucent for just a second?
To get things out of my way so I can see what I want to see. I'm going in and sculpting the details of the little bedroll, putting little ties on the little bedroll, and there's
you can see where it goes in the figure
folds.
and how it hides and what's going to be seen, what's not going to be seen.
Yeah,
so you're not like hiding stuff in there.
It's another advantage of doing it digitally. You can disassemble the figure to work on parts that you couldn't do if you were doing it traditionally. Everything's always in your way. You're having to work around all the parts of the figure. But that's all. It's an advantage, but it can also be a trap because you'll wind up sculpting things you don't need to sculpt if you're not careful. I'm just working on the drapery, and you see I pulled that chunk of the dagger off and extruded it out the back of the things to make sure that it penetrated the main part of his body, so there would be no hidden gaps that mold rubber could get behind on his dagger. Put a little wood grain texture on his staff there. Yeah, there's some things I would do differently if I were to do it.
For example?
I don't think I would just do his hair in one big blob like that. I would do his hair in overlapping parts. And I probably wouldn't have detailed his hands before
and then put his gloves on.
And then, I mean, I don't know what I was thinking when I did that, but I probably would do it differently.
Now, do you ever put detail on, like I just saw you putting the gems on the dagger?
Yes.
And then you realize when you back off and look at it that they'll never be seen. What we were talking about earlier about how it'll get smaller, or it's too small, and then you'll take detail out.
I do it less and less.
Okay. So it's more of a learning process as
Yeah.
you're going along.
Yeah.
Now, what is it he stepped in right there?
Squash badger.
Yeah, or a gnome.
There's a lot of work that goes into this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a lot of work. But it's amazing what you can get done in 7 minutes.
That's true. That's true.
What is that thing hanging on his staff?
It's a glowing acorn.
Very good.
You tell me.
There he is, finished. Ta-da!
Done.
Ready for approval of the art director, or disapproval, as the case may be.
And what happened?
This one was approved.
There.
I believe the quote was, "Oh, this one almost doesn't suck."
That turned out really good.
Almost. Yeah.
So cool. Well, that was a really neat.
There you go. That's
Really
nice.
neat little video. It kind of shows the beginning and end of digital sculpting. So, when next time you get a figure and you're painting a figure, remember all the detail and all the work and all the
hard work,
work that goes into the figures that we make. So I hope you enjoyed this video.
We should do one with one of the traditional sculptors.
Condense Bob down into 7 minutes.
That's right. Go. Ball's in your court, Rodolphe.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to let these minis dry. So before we do that, let's show progress. Hey, look, it's an ogre. Let me show you my other ogre. I painted the staff. It's brown. Yay!
All you got done is
progress.
staff?
Well, I've been thinking.
That's true. This is
I've
now
been doing
about
this
a month
thinking.
and a half on
Yeah,
that.
I gotta, like I said, July is my finish time. Bobby, let's show, or who's got?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Put your guy
Here we
up there.
Obviously, I had to paint a lot of armies in my time. Didn't have time to blow months on a staff.
He's
Yeah.
colorful.
Does that work for you?
Hey,
Okay.
works great. Okay.
My cleric.
Yeah, Bobby.
/ wizard.
Okay, put your guy right there.
Not a lot of progress, I'm afraid.
Put those guys right there.
Rhonda
That would be
Ben-
Michael's fault. You were trying to get it all in before the show. Yeah.
Rhonda Bender would be displeased.
So disappointed. So disappointed.
No, he's just in the Arctic. He's just fighting his way through the snow. That's only the part you're seeing because the blizzard. It's that little part where he starts to make a form there coming out of the blizzard.
He's failing his camouflage test.
I guess so. Make sure to follow us on www.reapermini.com.
YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram. Don't care how you get there, just get there.
And remember, if you've got any questions for us, send them to reaperlive@reapermini.com. We'll be able to get your questions and answer them live on air. Bobby, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. This is awesome.
My
I love
pleasure.
it. Yes.
You can come
Enjoyed
back anytime you want to.
Cool.
And we won't charge you the second time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can I subscribe?
Yes. Yes.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
We'll see you later.
Blocking you.
find exactly where you're at. Okay.
Whatever. I'll put it back.
The whole time.
No.
That's fine. It'll be fine.
It will be
I'll
fun.
leave that rolling for.
All right, one more time. Hi, I'm Ron Hawkins, art director here at Reaper Miniatures.
Ed Pugh, president.
And we're joined again with Bobby Jackson. Also, Justin Elliott, our technical director. Michael Collins, our producer. Boy, I just effed that up. Let's start over.
How do you say this? A gold medal painter? Because I want to say gold medal.
Gold medal winning.
Medalist. I'll do that.
Gold medal winning.
Gold medal winning.
I was going to say the flower. Gold medal flower.
Gold medal winning painter. He's a Hall of Fame sculptor and a gold medal winning painter. Gold medal winning painter.
Okay, whatever.
Okay.
Go.
And Honey Boo Boo look-alike.
I don't know why I started with that this morning.
That's
Go
fine.
ahead.
It works. Hi, this week on Reaper Live, we have a special guest.
Honey Boo Boo.
No.
Sorry. Yeah, right. Go again. Yeah.
Hi, this week on Reaper. This is what happens for 3 hours.
That's
every
good
week.
fun.
Hi, I'm Ron Hawkins, art director here at Reaper Miniatures.
Ed?
What do you do, Ed?
I don't know.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Gaming, painting, geek
Sucks
culture.
for you guys.
Let's start over.
No, let's just roll.
Okay,
This
this is the last time. Third time's a charm.
is fantastic.
Ed's got an eye appointment. We gotta get.
Yeah, we
this
got to get it
stuff.
going.
Hey, I'll go down there. We come back and finish it.
Okay.
This is all good.
Okay. Hi, I'm Ron Hawkins.
At Reaper, and I'm Ed Pugh, president here at Reaper. And we have Bobby Jackson.
Hi,
At Reaper.
at Reaper. How do you make chainmail? How do you make hair?
It's called timing.
You speed your timing up a little bit.
Or slow it down.
Or slow it down.
I can go, honey boo boo.
Stop it!
Okay.
What's wrong with
Here we go.
you?
Here we go. Take 32. Thanks for
Don't forget questions. Reaper Live at
Yeah,
reapermini.com.
yeah,
That's the part Ron just
yeah,
flubbed.
yeah,
Oh, you're going to lose
yeah.
your trailer.
Squeeze it out, Ron.
Yeah.
Got it. And remember, if you have any questions, send them to questions at
No, at Reaper
God
Live
almighty.
at reapermini.com. Not God either, okay?
Oh my Lord. Okay. Make sure to follow us.
He's not a professional.
That's our slogan, by the way. Make sure to follow us on www.reapermini.com.
YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facegram. Facegram, that's the new one.
He's not a professional either.